Look at all these blooms on the tomato plants. It's a lot of blooms, a lot of tomatoes. Oh, sorry guys. Today we're not in the garden. Today we are making cheese. So let's go in the kitchen. Okay, so here's what we're gonna need to make our Portuguese fresh cheese. Now, the first thing you absolutely need is animal rennet. You need some kind of rennet to coagulate the milk, which I use. I buy this from Amazon. It's relatively cheap, I think $7. You're gonna need whole milk, 1 gallon, whole milk at room temperature. Now remember, it's very important that it's not double pasteurized. It has to be just whole milk. If you guys out there have the option, or you're lucky enough to get your hands on fresh cow's milk or fresh goat's milk, then you're in better luck than me, because that milk tastes even better. But I don't have that option, so I'm going to use whole milk. I have in the past many times, and whole milk does work. The other thing I use is calcium chloride. Now, you don't need this. I use it because I make a lot of different cheeses and I have it. Calcium chloride just helps the rennet really, set the curds better, is what that does. You're gonna need some measuring spoons. You're gonna need some spring water. Do not use chlorinated water if you don't have to. I would advise distilled water. And you're gonna need some kind of cheese mold, which I have professional cheese molds, but I'm using these food safe containers that I've come across lately, and I just put a whole bunch of holes. Basically, I just heated up a nail really hot, and I just put a whole bunch of holes around it. And you're also going to need a really good glass of white wine. So pretty simple so far, right? All right, so let me move you on to the stove and we'll get to the next step. All right, so for our measurements, we're going to need 1/4 cup of water, just 1/4 cup. There we go. So that's 1/4 cup. Half of a teaspoon of the animal rennet. Here we go, half of a teaspoon animal rennet. And 1/4 teaspoon of the calcium chloride. Here we go. Okay, so those are the measurements. Now to the stove we go. All right, so our milk is ready to go. Taking the temperature. You need something to take temperature of your milk. Very important, this milk does not go above 86 degrees. If it goes to 87, we do not want to boil this milk. We want to just warm it up to 86, 87 degrees. That's it. So we're just going to keep stirring it occasionally until it gets to that temperature, which it happens pretty quickly. You just don't want the milk to burn. See, right now my milk's at 55 degrees. I don't know if you guys can see that. Can you see that temperature rising? "87 degrees is all we want." Little history while we're getting this up to temperature here. Fresh cheese, Portuguese fresh cheese, is a common staple cheese pretty much in, well, at least back in the old days, in every household. You know, whether it was the Azores or the mainland of Portugal, everyone always had some fresh cheese in their refrigerator, and it was most likely homemade, pretty much the way I'm showing you here. The other thing also is some people ask me if they can use vinegar to coagulate the milk, and the answer to that is no. You should not use vinegar, not for this type of cheese. So you got to get yourself some animal rennet or vegetable rennet, but stay away from the vinegar. Trust me. Let's see what temperature we got. Look how quick that goes. We're up to 72. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. You probably can. 74. I am going to turn the heat down a little bit. Yeah, I don't want this milk to come up to temperature too fast. What are we at now? We are at 76. There we go. Now our goal temperature is 86 degrees. At this point, I'm not going to stir anymore. Stir. I need to really pay attention. 79. I lowered the heat even more. 83, 84. All right, 86. That's it. Turn off the gas, 86 degrees. Now here comes the animal rennet and the chloride. We're just going to add it and we're going to stir it in for no longer than 1 minute. That's it. Not too fast, just stir it, make sure it all gets incorporated. 1 minute. And I am watching the clock on the stove. I know exactly when I poured it in. All right, we got about 30 seconds to go. You don't want to swirl your milk around too much. It's just gently, you know, just Now this is going to sit here for 1 hour. 1 whole hour. It's going to sit with the gas off. It's just going to sit here. Okay, that right there is a minute. Calm your milk down. You want to cover it and leave it for 1 hour. So I'll be back and show you in 1 hour what it looks like. Alright, so it's been exactly 1 hour. It's time to check our curd to see how well it curled up. Look at that. It's nice and clean. That's perfect. That's what you want, nice and clean. Okay, so over here I got all the forms that I think I'm going to use, and I have them in a container because this type of cheese I'm not going to strain in a cheesecloth. I am simply going to scoop it out into the molds. So that's why a lot of the whey is going to go in here. So this is how we're going to do it. Now I don't know if I should put you on the tripod or just do it live, but actually I think I'm just going to do it live. Let me grab a spoon and we'll be right back. Okay, and I'm back. Alright, at this point we got our setup. At this time is when you want to season this cheese. This cheese traditionally is seasoned with just salt. So here's what I got: some coarse sea salt, and to the bottom, see that? Just a little. To the bottom of the mold, we are going to sprinkle just a little bit of salt. And here we go. We're going in, guys. Ready? Look at that. Isn't that awesome? And we're just going to pour it right in. Just like that. Now you'll want a slotted spoon because you want to leave as much whey. You see the liquid that's in there? That's called the whey. You don't want that. That is fantastic for your garden if you grow vegetables. Look at that. And we'll go right in here. There we go, just like so. We'll grab some more. This cheese is absolutely delicious, guys. Put that one in there. And I know I'm going to need more, so let me add a little salt to that one, a little salt to that one. And we'll just keep right on filling. I hope I'm doing a pretty decent job with the camera work here. I am doing this with only one hand. My camera woman is on vacation. And we'll just keep distributing until we get these filled right to the top. Just like so. Don't worry, I will be picking all that up afterwards. There we go. Like that. Now this cheese, well, before I get ahead of myself, at the middle, you see they're filled halfway, I add a little bit more salt. At the halfway point, a little bit more to every one of them. Just like that. And now we're going to fill them right to the top. that. Now you see guys how this is a lot of curds, and one of the reasons why this curd really this good is because of that chloride that I used. If I had just used the animal rennet, I wouldn't have gotten this much curd. So even though you don't need the chloride, if you want like a lot of curd, you should definitely invest in that. I will leave a link below in the description box as to exactly where you can find it. So I'm just going to top all of these off just like that. I mean, I don't want to bore you guys to death, but if you want to learn how to make this cheese, I think it's important that you see exactly what I'm doing. Okay, so would it be fair to say that these are filled to the top? Okay, so I'm not going to keep you waiting around, but once they get to the very top, I will sprinkle just a little bit more salt. Very little, just a little pinch, you know, between two containers. So now I will get a couple more molds and I will use the rest to keep on filling. Probably I think I got enough for another 2 cheeses. And once that's done and cleaned up, I will bring you back and I will show you the next step. Okay, so got the molds all filled. We made, out of 1 gallon, we made 2, 4, 6 fresh cheeses. Now they're way to the top, and now they're going to go in the refrigerator for 3 days. On the 4th day, they are pretty much ready to eat. They will not be full to the top any longer because they're going to be losing weight. Very important is every day, you know, it can be 2, 3 times a day, it doesn't matter. You walk by your refrigerator, take these containers out, empty all of the whey that is caught here. Because if you don't empty it, then you're defeating the purpose of draining the whey, because then, you know, it keeps building back up and it keeps going back into the cheese. Keep draining your whey 2, 3, 4 times a day. You go into your refrigerator, you see that there's a lot of whey in there, just drain it out, put it back in the refrigerator. So I will show you a day from now what they look like. Okay, so it's been exactly 24 hours from since I started making the cheese, and as you guys can see, look how much it has gone down. These were full to the top. I have drained. See, very little whey has come out. There really ain't much. 95% of the whey is out of the containers. Look at how much it went down. And that's what you want. Now, at this point, I will not be draining whey anymore. So the way I was draining it was I would take this out of the refrigerator. I would take these molds and I would transfer them to this tray, which has dry. And I would put this one back in the refrigerator and I would wash this one. And I did that in 24 hours. I did it 3 times. And I will do this one last time, and that's it. And now these will sit for 2 more days in the refrigerator, because now they're not really going to release really any more whey, not much anyway. So they're starting to firm up. As you can see, now this is the stage after 24 hours that now they're going to get a little firmer, and that's what you want, is nice and firm. So it's just basically is, oh, see, makes no mess, nothing's leaking. And I do put a lid on the mold. If you don't have a lid on your molds, then you don't have to have a lid. But just because these containers do have a lid, I put a lid on it. And we'll just move them right over to here. Just like that, you gotta work them. Anyway, I'll work them in and get them all in. So the next time you're gonna see this cheese is going to be, today is Tuesday, the June 30th. So the next time you see these will be July 2nd, I believe, or July 1st or July 2nd, one or the other, and they'll be ready for the next step, and we're going to taste one of these. So back in the refrigerator they go until July 2nd. All right, guys, it has been 3 days and our cheese has been in the refrigerator. It is now done. It's time to take it out of the molds. As you can see, actually there's only 6 here, but ended up with 7 cheeses out of 1 gallon of milk. So this is pretty much it has hardly no whey left in it. I've been draining it for the past 3 days as needed be. So this is how I unmold it and package it, ready to give it to friends and family. It's pretty simple. I just take it, I flip it, and look at that. There is your cheese, nice and molded. It is nice and firm, like that. Now, I want you to see the difference. This is also the same diameter container as this one. You see the same, except the height is different. So I use this one to make the mold because I know that I want to store in this container. So I made the mold. So watch this. So how do you get it in? It's the same dimensions. You put it over and you just simply flip, and there you go. Your cheese is now ready. You can put a cap on it. And your cheese is ready to be given to your friends, family, yourself. Store it in the refrigerator. This will store in your refrigerator for up to 2.5 weeks. And that's basically how it's done. I am going to do the rest of these, and then we're going to do a taste test. We'll be right back. I will show you 2 more. I mean, look at that. That is beautiful. So simple, guys. In 3 days, 1 gallon of milk. And you have your fresh Portuguese cheese. I'll do the last one. They fall right out of the mold. Look at that. So, there you go. Now, the taste test really comes now. Okay, so we are done, and it's finally time for the taste test, even though I already tasted it. I mean, as you can see, I've been munching on it, but I was not doing it on camera. And then I realized, I'm not doing it on camera. So traditionally, this is how the Portuguese eat it, is we like to use pepper mash on the cheese. And you can eat this with a cracker, or you can eat it with bread, any way you want. But basically, I like to eat it is like this. Traditionally, is we'll just, put some pepper mash on it like that. So, I mean, let's give it a try. Actually, I already tried it. Yeah, it's delicious. It's fresh. It's fantastic. With just 1 gallon of milk, look at all the cheese we got. Out of 1 gallon. You can't beat it. I would definitely recommend you try this at home. That is fantastic. Guys, thank you for stopping by the Will It Grow channel. It is free to subscribe to my channel. Hit that little circle of tomatoes that's right there. And subscribe. Click the little like button. And if you would like, share this video. Thank you guys. Till next time.